Hey, Mike, tonight on the show, among other things, we're going to talk about the most underrated unsigned players. Do you know any of those?
I mean, does Dot Esports count as a sponsor?
You're watching Best of 3.
Awesome. Intense.
You're watching Best of 3, the weekly FGC talk show presented by the Daily Dot. Tonight on the show, we're going to, of course, get a CPT update. Of course, there was a tournament in Brazil over the weekend. And then we're going to talk about, I don't know if you heard, man. I mean, it's getting crazy out there with all the players getting picked up, players getting dropped, players not getting their contracts renewed. It's still a little bit in flux. So we're going to talk about that, but also in that context, who are some of these underrated players? There's some people who say, I deserve to be signed. And I'm not just talking about the guy here in the room with me. So we're going to talk about that, a couple other things, and then, of course, our guest tonight, and we're very excited to have him on for the third time. That was 3. Alex Cali Power Valle. But that'll be later. First, let me present to you Ace King of Suit, Steve Jurek. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you guys?
We're doing great. Steve, you've been complaining that you've had a lot to write about recently. I figure that there are worse problems to have.
You know, I do like getting paid. That's a good thing.
All right, I'm glad we pay by the story. And, of course, speaking of paying by the story, I don't even know how that makes any sense at all. John Velociraptor Guerrero from Event Hubs is here to also enlighten us with his thoughts on these things. How you doing, John?
I appreciate how every single time you just have the most perfect thing to say right before I come on, and I have no idea how to follow. So I'm doing good. I'm sorry if I'm back to potato quality. I'm back on the West Coast right now, but we're working on it. So
I gotta say, yes, when you were in Miami, it looked really sharp, but this still looks better than before you went to Miami. So shout outs to that, man. You look better. All right, guys. We had a Capcom Pro Tour event over the weekend, and let's just go ahead and start there. Kind sir, Ace King off suit, would you be kind enough to give us a bit of a heads up? And I'm going to pull up here the standings, the current standings, but you can just talk at your leisure.
All right. Well, this weekend was the first Brazilian event, Cacomp Arena Jam, part of the Jam Nerd Festival. There were a couple of American players in attendance, Justin Wong and K-Brad. They ended up going 1-2. Justin made it look pretty darn easy. He lost one game throughout the entire weekend.
It just so happens that I have footage of that. Let me pull that up. And I'm going to remind Will, only play 15 seconds at a time of this because that's what Capcom allows.
What a coincidence there. So Justin cruised through the bracket. K-Brad, his only losses were to Justin twice. So they ended up going 1-2. Rob KOF had a very strong performance, actually sent Keoma to the losers bracket. Keoma came in as probably one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known Brazilian player. He ended up 5th, but Rob did well. Brolinho, who used to go by Ibuki Man, did well as well. But the theme of the weekend was Americans coming in and doing what most foreign countries have done to us, that is come in, snatch up our Capcom Pro Tour points.
One thing I'd like to note is that I don't know if people remember early Street Fighter 4 where Justin was just going around and taking every single tournament period. I think it takes a little longer for games to develop in smaller scenes. You need more time to get the matchup experience among various players. Now, people will say, of course, Keoma plays Karen and Justin plays Karen, so there's that one-to-one comparison there. But, I mean, I think it's a little early to be going that far. But they looked kind of free this week.
You know, there's a lot of factors, right? It's a new game. How strong are scenes relative to other scenes? But the one thing I was talking to you about before the show was specifically that at Capcom Cup last year, Keoma went further in the tournament than Justin Wong, and people were saying, oh, well, this must mean that he's better than Justin Wong, or that Justin Wong is free. You're right. Some people were saying that.
I don't know who was
I
saying
see John
that.
rolling his eyes so hard. But some people said that. Okay, come to this tournament. As you mentioned, Keoma using Karin, Justin Wong using Karin. They fought the guy that got third place. Rob KOF is his name, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, so they both had a chance to fight him. Keoma lost to him. Justin made him look like they were playing a different game altogether. So, is that just fun to speculate, or is there something to be said there for...
I mean, Justin's better than Keoma right now in Street Fighter V. I don't think Keoma would dispute that whatsoever. As I said, just
John, you were rolling your eyes super hard. Why don't you tell me why?
Well, okay, because we're delving into this. Let me back up a little bit. Here in Arizona is we have our own little community, and I mean this is the only community that I'm really submerged in right now. So I get everything that these guys are saying, and as soon as somebody beats somebody else in casuals, oh, they're the best. They're better than that person. And then we get to our first tournament, and somebody wins the tournament, and they're the best now. They're the best. They're better than everybody else. They're the guy to beat. Unless, of course, I win because the Arizona scene kind of hates my guts. But that's neither here nor there. The whole thing is that people, especially when a game first comes out, they want to make these tier lists. They want to make this list of players who are the best, who are the worst, who the guy to beat is. And yes, those things happen. We do get an idea, and it is also an ever-changing process and an ever-changing ladder. But especially so early in the game's life, the foundations are still settling, like things are still molding and falling, and to go, oh, this guy's the best and that's the way it is I just feel like maybe ignorance too hard of a term, but that's not what we should really be talking about. And don't get me wrong, it is fun. It's fun to go, oh, this is the top dog right now and everything. There's a competitive aspect to it, and you get to put your target on somebody, but to really have this discussion right now with the way so many people tend to do it is, I don't know, I think it's jumping the gun a little bit. And so that's why you're getting the eye rolls from me.
I think John just called me ignorant.
Also, in case there was anyone was wondering, Efren's ignorant.
I think you meant to say ignorant.
you do like to stir the pot about that kind of stuff.
This is a talk
stream
show.
monster, honestly.
This is a talk
You're
show.
a stream
I wanted
monster.
to talk about these things. Yeah, I am a stream monster.
And we're
That's
stream
right.
warriors.
Yeah. You're on there. I see you guys compete. Well, I don't think I've ever seen John on stream, but I've seen you on stream a couple times.
No one's ever seen John on stream.
Steve, do you have an opinion on this?
Well, I mean, the thing is that you're right. The results of today aren't necessarily how it's going to be forever, even next year, especially so early in the game's life. The other thing to keep in mind, Justin just breaks games apart really easily. He did well in early KI tournaments. He did well in early Mortal Kombat tournaments, early Skullgirls tournaments. There are few people better at breaking a game down early and playing it at a high level quickly than Justin. But that said, I don't think it's insane to think that, you know, the Brazilian scene is not going to be quite on the level as the U.S. right now. Kaoma's a fantastic player. So is Rolinho. So is Rob KOF. But just looking at where the level of play was this weekend compared to where it is in the U.S., U.S. has a lot of advantages over Brazil in terms of internet connection, being able to get players together easily. So those advantages really were on display today. And there's not a lack of good players in Brazil. It's just much harder for them to level up and grind out experience compared to the U.S.
Exactly, and to be honest, for that reason, I think it's not lofty to say it could take a year or even a couple of years
to get to tier?
Not to a legit tier. I'm sure the top players in Brazil will be able to compete at some level, but to be able to shut out, you know, like Capcom Pro Tour wannabe, like not wannabes, but point getters.
Sure.
From taking the home points, I think that might take a while, and I think you're going to see most of the ranking events where someone comes in get stolen. That's my personal prediction.
Well, speaking of predictions and opinions, this is a call-in show. We're bringing back the call-in line. If you guys have an opinion on this, if you think I'm ignorant and you want to, I see John picking up his phone. What a knucklehead. Anyway, you guys can call in and let us know. We're also, the next topic will be, when we get to it, is this idea that players are getting picked up, players are getting dropped, players' contracts are not being renewed as far as we know. And if you have an opinion on who the most underrated unsigned player other than Michael Donka Schiller is, and of course John Velociraptor Guerrero, you guys should definitely call in and let us know.
You can also call in and say it's me. I don't care.
Yeah, of course. If you want to say Donka is the most underrated unsigned player, he does love Snoo Snoo. So, guys, as a brief little aside, before we hop on to our next topic, this Alex breaking, this glitch where Alex kind of breaks the game a little bit as far as it not playing the way it's meant to be played. You're my glitch guy. Why don't you spell it out for me, especially since you play Alex?
Essentially, if the character select, and I might get a small intricate detail of this wrong.
Okay.
If the character select comes up in the game, so if you use him as your favorite and you go into online ranked, it won't happen. It has to go to character select, and the screen has to start with you on Alex.
Okay.
And if this happens, due to the way the game is programmed, all the characters outside of Alex go back to their 1.01 version, which means that they have a faster jump pre-start, and Chun-Li gains back a glitch. And Alex himself loses the ability to combo his backdrop off of his V-trigger. This is a pretty big deal. For Alex specifically, I mean, he loses a combo, and for other characters, timings that people have been reworking are gone. This should be like urgent patch level, because the possibility of someone to miss this is pretty high. If you go back to character select after playing Alex or someone and they switch characters, you have to completely exit and change everything to get this to work. So, I mean, to be honest, this just has to get rid of right away. Like, this can't stay in the game.
But they did discover a workaround, which is you just don't put him as your favorite player.
You can always work around it by properly not having him as your favorite character, or if you go back to the character select screen, switching and then switching back, but it's a pain in the ass.
Steve, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe you can back this up, some people did say that this has already affected tournaments. People have already played tournaments and had this. Had you heard anything about that, Steve?
I didn't see it happen at Brazil, although I wasn't really working, or I was working a lot of the weekend, so I didn't get to see a lot of it live. But to kind of build on the reason for this is happening, what we believe it happened is that when the game loads, it loads the current version and of each character. When it goes to Alex, the current version is the first version, since he wasn't, part of 1.01. So when Alex, okay, let's load up 1.01, so let's load up 1.01 for everybody else. And that is the source of the problem. So you would expect it to be a relatively easy fix. Obviously, programming at no fix is quite simple, but the certification process is going to be probably the biggest holdup in getting this patched out.
John, you use this to your advantage to win a tournament, right? Yeah?
Yeah, that's pretty much the only way I win things is through gimmick.
We're breaking up a little,
John,
like bugs and such.
I think the glitch is currently in effect because you got a little bit robotic on us there on that one.
Damn.
That sucks.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. All right, guys, let's move on. Okay, the news that hit, and hopefully you can elaborate, Steve, here in a second, but in order of most recent to least recent, Mr. Crimson got picked up by Meltdown. If you don't remember Meltdown, I believe Luffy was signed by Meltdown for a while, and Meltdown is a French esports bar franchise, basically like a hybrid arcade/esports venue in Europe. They've picked up Mr. Crimson. If you don't remember, Mr. Crimson won the Con Winter Clash, kind of came out the gate with a hot Laura and did a lot of work and won that tournament. That bonita Laura. I mean, she is very bonita. The other news was that Tokido and Mago potentially will now no longer be with Mad Cats, and it's not 100% clear if their contract's being renewed. It doesn't sound like it is, but it's not confirmed. I personally reached out to some of the Topanga guys, and I have not heard back yet. As soon as I do, you guys will know. And the first bit of news that came out about this was, of course, Punko getting signed by Team Secret, which is, as they say,
at first
legit
I thought that
esports.
was like the deodorant, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what?
You mean like strong enough for a man but made for a woman?
Exactly.
Is that what you mean?
I was confused myself.
Steve, did I miss any details on that?
Well, with the Mad Cats issue, Tokido and Mago, they did an interview with Team, I want to get the name right, Team Spirit Zero. Yes. It was translated into English by Event Hubs and the staff there. And it turns out that the contracts that they signed, year-to-year contracts, ended in March. And no one from Mad Cats has reached out or given them specific information about, yes, we're going to re-sign you, or no, we're not going to re-sign you. So they're kind of in limbo here. They've both been with Mad Cats for 5 years now. So I don't really think either of them really want to go somewhere else if they don't have to. But if you look at the financial problems that Mad Catz has had with the rough launch for Rock Band 4, which they were heavily invested in, the rough launch for Street Fighter 5, which they, through their sticks, they were heavily invested in. It has not been a very good time for them, and they may have to cut a lot of costs. Markman was one of the 37% of the staff that got laid off. So the idea of them ending a pro team in fighting games where there isn't that huge return on investment necessarily for most players, we'll get to the other one, it's not that insane of a possibility.
You notice in that interview they did say we can only speak for ourselves. We have not had our contracts renewed, and I don't know if that meant we're not going to speak for Daigo because he can speak for himself, or if Daigo is still good, it's the rest of us that don't have the contracts renewed.
Might have had a different contract. I'm not even sure.
Who knows?
Maybe
You're right.
here knows.
But I want to talk about Punko for a second, and let me, in case you've been following the show for a while and you don't know where at least I found Ace King offsuit, and that was in the hallowed halls of R Kappa, reddit.com/r/Kappa, because he was doing these awesome write-ups, and I was like, I like this guy. Anyway, how has R Kappa, who last year and for quite a while had been sponsoring Punko and sending him to events, what has the response been to him being picked up by an esports team, Steve?
It's been fairly positive. That they're disappointed that Punko won't be under the banner anymore, but they're excited for him to get a regular sponsor, have the opportunities, play in more places, and not necessarily need to rely on, T-shirt drives that could succeed or fail. So it's been very positive there. I'm very happy for him. I'm happy for any player that gets an opportunity to do what they love more often and possibly even get paid for it. So great ups to Punko, great ups to Mr. Crimson, and hopefully Mago and Tokido get squared away real soon.
John, the Mad Catz guys, Tokido, Mago, extremely popular players.
Yes.
Event Hubs, you guys put an article on that. What kind of response have you guys been getting about that?
Well, I mean, people are kind of just wondering at this point. I mean, to backtrack a little bit, we kind of saw this happening as soon as we found that there was issue with. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. As soon as we found that there was issue with, Mad Catz and their financial state was a little unstable and such, and Markman was on his way out, the first place a lot of people's minds went what about Tokido, Mago, and Daigo? What's going to happen there? Because I bet, come whatever time their contracts are up, we might see some big changes. And sure enough, here we are. We're all kind of just up in the air right now. But I mean, like the general response is kind of like, I don't know. I hope they go somewhere. And see, people are saying, I hope we see like Tokido on Team Razor. I don't hope that. I'm really hoping that we end up seeing him like somewhere else to spread out the skill, just because Team Razor getting any of these guys would be insane. I think that would put them over the top. So, I don't know what we can expect at this point. It's like I say, up in the air. But my attention's mostly on Daigo right now. I really want to see what happens with him. I'm really excited to see if he sticks with Mad Catz, if they still have a spot for him, or what's going to go on with that.
I mean, it's interesting, too, and as John said, I totally agree with him on the factor of going to different teams, especially with SF5 Crash going on, and now, obviously, those are already dictated. But if we're going to have real team events in the future, it'd certainly be more interesting if it's not quite as stacked.
Yeah, you don't want like Team Razor A, B, and C, right?
Yeah. And
that team's already pretty stacked. One of the things that I saw, and I want to say this was on R Kappa as well, when I was reading about the Punko thing, somebody brought up the fact that I'm sorry, I got this. It was a tweet from Kugi, if I'm not mistaken, and it was basically saying Team Secret signing a team, the difference between sponsors like Mad Catz and Razor, which are standalone companies, and a team like Team Secret, which brings in a bunch of sponsors. That this is that moment where we become esports, so to speak. Or
we
at
have
least
EG in the field and that kind of niche, but yeah, I mean, getting more of them is definitely interesting for sure.
So, John, are we esports?
I mean, at this point, I feel like there's not much question to it. I mean, like that, we've been moving in that direction for forever. We have events like the CPT and such. Like, for those that are holding on to if we have to be esports or not esports, like, no, we don't. We're moving in that direction. The FGC will always be the FGC. But man, like, let's make this transition. Let's move forward. Let's be progressive, and let's be esports and just shut up, you know?
Absolutely. So we have AJ in the chat. I wonder if EG is picking up any of these guys. It'd be interesting to see, right?
I'm sure he would not tell us.
Steve?
Yeah. When I said most of those guys, here's the thing. Daigo having a separate contract with Mad Cats makes total sense because there are exactly two people in the FGC that move the needle out, not just in the FGC, but in competitive gaming as a whole. And that is Daigo and Justin Wong. If one of those two guys do something, they pay attention. People pay attention. So being associated with them is so much more valuable than being associated with Mago, who is fantastic. I'm not trying to say this to diss Mago or Taquito or anyone else, but Daigo has a level of celebrity, a level of interest from outside just the fighting game community that keeping him has to be number one priority. If they're going to keep anybody, they have to keep him.
AJ in the chat here says, I can neither confirm nor deny anything.
I think that means they're picking up Lupe.
Oh, they're getting Lupe Fiasco. Yeah, I mean, it's the anti-Daigo tech. But the question that we wanted to pose to the audience as well as to the panel is the following. Who is the most underrated player that has not gotten signed on a team that you think, why not?
Other than Lupe.
Other than Lupe Fiasco. I mean, that guy, you know, he's got it covered. He's doing all right for himself. Arcapa again, I'm bringing it up. A lot of people were saying Arturo, Art Sanchez, he's a guy that could be picked up. You know, he's good. He's placed well in tournaments. He's pioneering tech.
The first diamond player online.
Come on, what more do you need? Sponsors? John, I'm looking right at you, bud, and you shook your head hard.
No, I think Arturo is great. Arturo has been amazing in Street Fighter V thus far, and if he keeps going the way he's going, absolutely. But at the same time, sorry if this is going to piss some people off, but online is not the be-all, end-all. I won't go as far as to say online doesn't matter, but that is not the measuring stick that we're going to use at the end of the day.
John, imagine a time. Sorry, you're breaking out, John. You're breaking out a little bit. So, Will, if you would
I'm out of here, man.
All right.
But as far as what's up?
You were breaking out a little bit, but what I was saying was, imagine a time in the future, internet connections are flawless, and there are only online tournaments. Would you then want to sign Arturo as a online player?
If we got online and the rage quitting thing was fixed and there wasn't lag and yes, it was a more legitimate setting, of course, that'd be great. It just isn't the case right now. But as far as the most underrated player, player that isn't sponsored, that needs to be sponsored, I gotta give it to Kazunoko.
Yeah, I mean, he was signed, and then that was the Zevron guys, and they shit the bed on that one, and that didn't work out. And you would think that by now he would have been picked up. I wonder why not. Although, how is he doing in Street Fighter V? Are people waiting to see? Is that even a thing? Like, let's wait to see how they do in Street Fighter V? The Capcom Pro Tour is happening now.
It seems like a lot of people hedged their bets before it came out in the first place, and we saw Luffy get picked up before the game came out, and a few other people. Frankly, Punko's results haven't been especially strong in Street Fighter V.
I know you've been wanting to bring this up.
I don't even want to bring it. I don't even have to talk about it. It's just the fact that I think it's more so been based on their performance before and their notability right now, probably translating to the future. So I think you got a little bit until these guys who have been having good results in 5 but weren't quite as notable in 4 start to get picked up by sponsors. That could be, honestly, even like a year or two down the line.
But if you want to make the argument that they can do it on personality alone, right? Forget the fact that they're talented. You got guys like K-Brad who obviously just got second place at a Capcom Pro Tour event. And Punko is very well liked. The whole Red Bull, Red Bull's taking his shirt off. He's very well liked. So if it doesn't matter whether they're at the top of the game or not, but because they're likable, then I feel like people are wasting their time. Tokido is super marketable, although this news did just hit. But moving on, Steve, do you have a best underrated players? John said Kazunoko. Who do you think?
You guys brought him up. Here's what I'm thinking on this. do we want to talk about people who are just not with anybody? Or do we want to talk about people who are associated with teams that aren't necessarily huge teams?
Are you thinking of Sonic Fox? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, not Sonic Fox. You know, Arturo being part of Team Spooky. You've got guys like Smug, who really hasn't done much in 5, but he was one of the biggest stars at the end of Street Fighter 4's life. He's with Team Pi, and that's really sort of just a team, not necessarily a big sponsor. They have shown some personality on stream. And that's really, I think, what bothers people a lot about this entire situation. So much of fighting games is a meritocracy. You know, you go to a tournament, you play well, you win, you do well. You know, if you're not good, you don't do well. With sponsorship, it's not just talent that determines marketability. It's personality. It's being willing to be on stream, working hard on developing an audience, building maybe not a persona, but having some sort of personality. And there are some great players who just don't do that. We have a lot of those in the fighting game community. And that makes someone like Arturo, who actually does stream a lot, who does have some sort of personality, much more valuable than someone who, you know, might get better results, but, you know, when it's time to stream, they just shut up and play the game, don't say anything on stream, and expect people to want to watch that.
You haven't said a guy.
And this isn't necessarily based on, he doesn't have much of a public persona yet, but I think the guy in America, at least, who's been extremely consistent so far in All-American tournaments, and as far as I understand isn't sponsored, is actually Julio from NorCal, who got second at the first tournament for the game, basically, which was Winter Brawl. He got, I believe, top 16 at final round, and then he got top 8 at NCR. And I played versus him, and to be honest, he's one of the most complete players I've played versus. He's a funny guy. I think that he should definitely be someone that people watch for in the future.
Well, there you have it. I don't think we got any calls on it, so nobody has an opinion. Yep, no calls. You never call anymore, guys. What happened? Is it because we don't put the number up anymore? That being said, that brings us to the end of that topic. Unless we missed anything, Steve, would you be kind enough to give us a preview of what's coming up this weekend?
Well, a couple events this weekend. On the Pro Tour, we've got West Coast Warzone. Let me see if I can pull up the player list for that. But I know Justin's going to be there. He's been flying around all over the country, all over the world this month. We've got Julio's going to be there. Team YP's Filipino man is going to be there. I thought I saw PR Rog on the list. I'm not sure on that. I apologize. And then the other event this weekend is going to be, besides Street Fighter Crash, we've got a cosplay tournament in Japan. Daigo is hosting a 3-on-3 team tournament where everyone who participates has to be in cosplay. The interesting part about that...
If that isn't interesting enough yet.
If that's not enough, the interesting part, tying into the earlier conversation, is being co-hosted by Red Bull in their Tokyo studio. So,
oh, wow.
Not saying anything, not saying anything.
You think it's going to be all these Mad Cats players are going to be Red Bull players from now on? But they have to stay in cosplay?
I would love to see Daigo as One Punch Man. I just want to see that happen.
Awesome.
I've cosplayed a few times. I could
Snake,
possibly
you did
fly
that
over.
one, Jack Skellington once, which I wasn't terribly convinced by. Snake, I think you could do. Anyway, gentlemen, John, who would you cosplay as in a Red Bull sponsored, Daigo hosted Japanese tournament?
I'd probably cosplay as Bunko.
Well, you just take your shirt off and chug Red Bull?
Yeah.
Unnecessary pepperonis?
Absolutely. You could have fun with that for sure.
Awesome.
I think it'd be pretty necessary.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us as you do every week. You can read Steve's stuff on dailydot.com. Go to the topics page, esports. In the future, I promise we'll have our own page. And of course, John is always posting like a monster on Event Hubs. You can see all of his stuff and follow everything that's hip and hot in the community is what I was trying to say on eventhubs.com. So guys, thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll see you next week. All right, coming up next, we're bringing on for the third time Mr. Alejandro Valle, Alex Valle, and we're very excited to have him on. We're going to talk about a couple of things. Of course, the first season of Street Fighter V Wednesday Night Fights has come and gone. You were intimately acquainted with it because you were doing recaps
Very
here. They did 8 weeks, 2 months. They're still doing Wednesday Night Fights events every Wednesday, but it won't be the season with the prizes and all that stuff. We're also going to talk to him about a couple of tournaments coming up. Of course, West Coast Warzone Level Up Series is going to be streaming that. And then a week after that, you and I will be at Texas Showdown, and they'll be working that event as well.
Come down south, boys.
Yeah, exactly, man. We're going to have some Texas action going on. So we're going to talk about those things. And I don't know if you heard about this, but over the weekend, Alex also did basically an open call for training. Come on in and ask your questions, and it's a safe environment here, boys and girls. Come and ask. So, Alex, I think he's ready. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. What's going on, guys?
Hey, there he is. There's Alex. How's it going, dude? Thank you so much for joining us for the third time.
This is the best of 3, right? So
It's the best of 3. That's it. You can't come on anymore after this.
this is it, man.
Got to make it count. So anyway, we were telling the audience that we're very excited to have you back on. We're going to talk about several things, and then at the end of that discussion, you're going to have a set with the best unsigned player in America, Michael Donka Schiller. Now, for those of you keeping count, last week he got one on the board and took out Gutex. So we're going to see if you can do a repeat, man.
Yeah,
All right.
it's Cali one at a time.
All right, but let's get into this. Alex, again, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start off with Wednesday Night Fights. How did it go? Street Fighter V was going to be a hot ticket.
Yeah, Wednesday Night Fights, man, as much as I would love to call it, the birth of it was from Street Fighter, of course, but there's massive amounts of people just outside of it. So besides Street Fighter 5 obviously pulls in like 120 per week.
Uh-huh.
Smash is pushing 70 to 80 players per week now. It's freaking crazy. Yeah, Marvel is still sustaining like around 25-ish, 25, 30. MKX actually dropped off.
Really? MKX dropped off?
Yeah, MKX dropped off.
Even with MKXL and the new characters and all that stuff?
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
I mean, I guess a lot of that has to do with just the region, man. A lot of the players are far away, and they have work or school or whatnot. I understand. And the netcode's better, so it's better for them to play.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. Is good internet the enemy of Esports Arena and, locals?
Not necessarily, because why are still, Street Fighter 5 players still coming out? Why is Smash people, Smash, well, that's an anomaly. I don't know if you guys ever tried playing Smash Online, but I hear it's pretty challenging.
It's a different experience than even the worst fighting game online, probably.
Yeah. But, man, we're kicking ass at Wednesday Night Fights. Overall, we have, about like 215 or something per week, like overall come in. Of course, thanks to every player and guests that come out, but Street Fighter, I've already said 120 per week, and we have like 17 stations for people to play on, and we've shortened down the time. I know the first few was a bit of a challenge to try to get it under 5 hours or 6 hours, but now we finish within like 2 to 2:30 a.m. So it's a 4-hour event if you were to calculate it. Sorry, East Coast guys. Thursday morning fights is because you live there. For Wednesday is just barely 2 o'clock for everybody. So,
in Cali, yeah.
How have you felt? One question I've had is how have you felt, and it's obviously made it work, about PCs at the venue and just the esports arena in general? A lot of people had questions about how that would work logistically and why we've always used consoles.
I did my homework, man. While the entire freaking fighting game community bashed us for using Street Fighter 4 on PC, I did my legwork, and now it's smooth sailing. So by the time that all you guys get on PC, every TL is gonna bitch and gonna come to me and be like, "Hey man, how do you do this troubleshooting stuff, man? How do you do all this crap?" And you guys should have done it, man. And now, you guys should have fucking played ball when I said like this is gonna bring us the new age of like competitive gaming, And now I still believe PCs the best platform to play Street Fighter on, especially Street Fighter 5.
That's what I play on. I mean,
yeah. Right? But I mean, we're making it work. We have amazing level up community leaders now. We have players that run the brackets. We have help doing camera work there now too. We have a better experience for the stream, for the players, the viewers, of course. We use Smash.gg as the tournament platform. So that stuff is amazing. It's a very, I would say, it saves us a lot of time progressing the brackets from pool play to like top 32 or top 16. It saves us at least 40 minutes because in challenge you have to like rearrange the names and and add buys on your own, and it's just atrocious to do, right? It's just not really it's not feasible for the time that you want to run like a 4-hour event just on time. Anyways, we use better tournament software. We have amazing staff. We have players that are used to PC now. Like if they have a problem, they'll go to the tournament bracket organizer and they'll just like, okay, hey, I have an issue. And we have loaner sticks for people that they didn't bring an X input device or a peripheral. So we've done our homework through the first few to make sure like we have a smoother transition every time, and that's why people keep coming back because we're prepared for them. This is for the players to get better in tournament play, to have fun. This is our bowling night. Everybody's like everywhere else you can go like bar night for whatever fraternity stuff and bowling, darts, shoot pool. This is Wednesday night fights. This is what we bring to the table.
Now, Alex, you brought up the fact that people keep coming back, and clearly they do. You can see it if you watch the stream in the archives. The room is packed. A buddy of mine, the same guy that always hits me up before the show with all these stats, he's like, hey, I was calculating the number of people that entered Arcade UFO weeklies here in Austin, and he was trying to do the same for Level Up Live. He didn't realize that you had switched to Smash GG, but this is the punchline. Arcade UFO weeklies have an attrition rate of 26% since the first week. At Wednesday night fights, it's better. It's only 20%, but you have to remember, and in fact, since he did Challenge first before he realized Smash GG, it was only the first 2 events, and it was based off of that first mammoth Wednesday night fights you guys had for Street Fighter V launch. There was a 60% drop in that, but then it evened out. You have to account for that massive first week. How do you feel the struggle is going with respects to bringing people in? You've been talking about it, but the fact remains that you could have the nicest stream, you could give them sticks, you could have the best players there. People still need to be compelled to come out, right?
Yes. It is totally about entertainment. Okay. They know that they're going to get their ass kicked at the tournament, right? They have no chance. But why do they go? Because they feel that this is a place that they can get out of their school studies, their work. It's just something that they're compelled to go, and they're like, man, and I worked really hard on this for the past year. I'm like, how can I present them a show where, like, even if they lose, they can hang out, right? That's the important part. Keep them there. And that's why we have over 17 stations, because, of course, we don't use the entire 17 stations for the tournament the entire night. We use it probably for the first 2 hours. After that, they all play casuals. So casual play versus the top players or whoever is there is the main selling point. And from there, like, they have permits to sell alcohol now. So that yeah, that's another plus. We have, I see new faces all the time, and it's not just Street Fighter, right? I mean, Smash is another huge deal. It's a whole new beast of players that come. Keep in mind, 120 players that registered, but how many of them bring rides, friends, girlfriends, buddies, and stuff? I see families there, so it's just, they know that, oh man, I can just, I have a place to sit, to watch the stuff. There's multi-level floors. It's visually appealing, right? Versus if you're kind of cramped in an arcade. I'm not shooting in arcades. That's where I came from, but you can only stay in an arcade for so long until you feel that, like, okay, I had enough, right? Yeah. So when is that at Esports Arena? When there's even bars around it. It's like in the downtown area where you can get food, lots of walking places to check out the scenes. It's not like Hollywood or anything, or it's not like you're at the beach. You're still in downtown Santa Ana. It's still a little it's a little rundown, but I mean, it has those like hipster food places there. So a lot of girlfriends like to go there.
Sure.
I'm like, just go hang out. So it's a much better experience as the event goes on later at night. So that's part of the reason they stay out.
And Alex, I mean, you've really been squeezing every last drop out of the esports arena partnership there. This weekend, you hosted another event, and this is, right up exactly what you're talking about, giving people an excuse or an incentive to be there, making it more of a home, making it more of a destination. It's really entertaining. You did basically a training camp. Can you explain to anybody who might have missed it? And I have footage here that'll play in the meantime. I thought it was great.
Sure. I had, after Street Fighter V came out, is just a bunch of tournaments after tournaments, and that's not how it was when Street Fighter 4 came out. I mean, for some places it was, but I was preparing for like the new blood back in Street Fighter 4. So even before Wednesday Night Fights was born, I started these rushdown training sessions. Before it was called like Wednesday Night Fights, and then as I got some of the SoCal's finest players that I saw potential in, and the newcomers, I put them together in a room. It was only like maybe 20, 30 people at first or so. And I made a tournament simulator. I actually lied to the community. I said, there's no tournaments, but there actually was. So I told, hey, that's the first thing I told you. I was like, hey, guys, remember I said there was no tournaments? I lied. So I put the top players in, because I knew who they were. And like I just told anybody that plays top 32 in Wednesday Night Fights, I need you to take a step forward, because I talked to them like in the classroom. They're all sitting down in chairs and they're all kind of paying attention, like, ooh, what's happening? Because I didn't tell them. So top 32, I need you to step forward and I need you to play only in this section, pretty much the stream area. I had a couple casual stations, a stream station, and the other pools were just to find out who are the next players that deserve to be there. So it's single elimination tournament simulators. Anybody that won their pool graduates to the top player pool. Top player pool, the 4 worst performers get knocked out. So they have to go into the salty pools for an hour to just, trying to fix their mistakes. So while like I run this simulator, I called it the rival match, right? Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to find who your rival is. If you can't get out of your pool, you're going to have to start asking questions. You start getting pissed off. At least you're talking to the person. Just like when you're playing online, you just kind of playing the guys in your same rank for a while. When you begin, this is the same thing but offline. And I'm training them to do this because I told them, like, hey, you're gonna have to play a player that's slightly higher your level or slightly lower. Once you find that, you'll start leveling up faster. You start asking questions, you'll start moving up, and then when you get to a point where you can't, come to me, and then I will guide you to like who to play against. I don't play every character. I'm not gonna tell them like every single finer details, right, versus every matchup, but I have my top players there, and I can utilize them to help. And then in return for them, they get better too, because they start getting all of the matchup dynamics at once in-house, and they're actively like soaking this in. So I knew this worked for Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. Everybody was like, oh my God, you got to throw another one.
and it looks cool. I mean, I'm watching the footage here. The screen is still on a match, but basically in the back of this shot here coming up, if Will pulls it up, you see you back there with a microphone talking to people. And if I'm not mistaken, you're just answering their questions on the PA system, right?
Yes.
I mean, that accessibility, and I mean, it brings us to a new topic that I want to broach you on, and that is this: sharing technology, sharing information, sharing what you've discovered in the game. Doc has been kind enough to produce not 1 but 3 tech videos here for .esports. You had this event which was open. Hey, ask your questions. I've seen on our Street Fighter, we were talking about Reddit earlier, on our Street Fighter they have Ask Your Dumb Question Tuesdays or something like that. The idea is like, guys, don't be scared to ask. You also have the Discord chat, which is, some people are heated about that because it's, even though it's supposed to be inclusive, it's somewhat secretive. Where do you, your opinion on all that?
No, I think it's great. Any avenue to share knowledge is amazing. Right? It starts with one person, right? Whoever brought Discord to the table, and then now everybody's kind of on, or at least a lot of people are on it, or Reddit, right? We never used Reddit back then, or when Event House was new, right? We never went on there, and it's just everything just starts to open up more doors to get information, and it doesn't really matter who starts it. It's just how long we can keep going at it and keep pushing information. Okay, and I just like trolls will be trolls and thinking that U.S. doesn't share secrets or they're kind of like in for itself. I just think that's with a small group of people, right? Like I even tell it straight up. The West Coast is laughing about that shit because we share information left and right, man. That's why whenever we try to play an exhibition with anybody, we freaking destroy them. Why? Because our knowledge keeps going, and everybody else's knowledge is kind of like in their little clique. But now that I guess I start seeing the light, and some of these guys are finally kind of like, all right, maybe I should share, and like you should have done it a while ago. Just welcome to the club. We don't hate him for it. It's about fucking time. So
yeah,
that's why the so-called guys always learning like all these obscure characters that make them look good.
I remember FChamp saying, I think it was on the show, if I teach people my tech, then they're going to learn to beat it, and I have to get better as a result. Why do you like sharing tech, Mike?
Because I get paid for it.
I do pay for it. That's not the only reason.
To be honest, it's pretty much just what FChamp said, and it's the result of making people feel okay to do so. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times back when I was like, coming up and learning Marvel, I would post stuff in the Iron Man forums on Sure You Can, and then people would see that and kind of say like, oh, maybe I'll post something too. And as a result, I learned a lot about the character and I learned a lot about the game. And it's only skyrocketed doing that for a while. Now, as Alex said, that tends to go on in local scenes. People tend to share tech with their friends. But, I mean, there's a lot more knowledge than your friends. And the more you do it, the more other people will contribute and the easier it gets. And, yeah, it's getting bigger than America at this point, right? We want to beat Japan. We want to beat all these other countries that are coming here and taking our Capcom points. So I think it's a good thing to do. I think that unless you're anywhere near the top, you're just hurting yourself by not trying.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you would agree with that, Alex.
Absolutely.
I don't want to move away too far from Esports Arena yet. Do you have anything else that's going on there besides the continuing Wednesday weeklies?
Yes. Well, as you said, a lot of people were confused if we're done with Wednesday Night Fights until like season 2, which is slightly incorrect. We're in off season now. It's just the difference is we don't give any season prizes. It's just tournaments and cash payouts. Mm-hmm. Strictly that. Okay. And I think the Smash guys are taking a break, so they're going to do their online stuff, which is cool. Then we come back May 11th with another season, more season prizes. So a lot of people ask me if I'm going to run another training session, and if I do, it will be a month from now. So like somewhere in mid-May, I'll do that. Anything else special? Not that I can announce yet. But just look out for more at Esports Arena for sure.
Yeah, it's those fabled online tournaments that we'll hear about someday. Guys, I want to remind you that this is a call-in show. If you have a question for Alex about anything at all, or for Michael Donkeschiller and his most recent Alex tech video, feel free to call and we'll hear you live and we'll have your question answered.
Well, here's my question is, we've heard you talk about training all these students, and we've obviously seen you entering Wednesday Night Fights. How seriously are you taking the game at this point and trying to win?
So it's an interesting case. Like, I'm more concerned about learning the game rather than kind of winning these tournaments. So I think it just in time, I think like right now I'm not grinding like everybody else. The guys that are grinding and you see it, they're the ones that are the tournament performers, right? The Chris T's, Arturo's, Julio's, Justin. Those guys are grinding and they're doing it right. But I'm kind of working in parallel. Like, yeah, I am playing, I'm grinding, but I'm more just trying to learn and figuring out ways to add that to the production too. Right, like I host a weekly. I can't. I have to figure out, more storylines to tell and like character specific stuff. Man, there's just so much stuff I have to soak in. I have to do it all over again from like Street Fighter 4 because I was a Ryu player then, but now like I play Rashid in this. I play a little bit of Alex. I'm trying to get knowledge there. So I'm not too worried about like winning or placing in Capcom Pro Tour, but like if I do get the opportunity just because the way that I'm learning, then so be it. So, it's not that important to me right now. It's more important for just players to get better at this game as quickly as possible, so we can see some amazing matches.
You know, speaking of amazing matches, and this is something I brought up to you if you had watched it, and if you're interested in talking about this on Daigo the Beast stream, he had a set versus Nuki. I was trying to find it earlier. I have the video, but I couldn't find the timestamp of it. And I saw you tweeting about it, and it occurred to me that relative to other people, you might have a different perspective on it. You've faced these guys for more years than most. Are we hearing audio here? Let me kill that audio real quick. But when you're seeing that and you see Daigo losing, right, using his Ryu versus Nuki's Chun, classic matchup, what goes through your mind? Here we go.
Okay. I think Daigo started late. I mean, it's a lot of people had the early access. I don't think he was fully engaged yet. I just can tell by the way he's playing Ryu. Even by like the matches that he was recently playing against Gachikun's Rashid, right? He was just not familiar with the matchup at all. He's kind of going through the ropes, right? So of course he's not there yet. But you can never count him out, right? And it's just he's an amazing player. It's just a lot of people are still ahead of the game. I see him having a really difficult time versus like if he were to play Justin right now, that would be a really difficult time. I'll tell you that. Justin's on his game. It's not, and even Justin gave him a run for his money early in Street Fighter 4 with Balrog. Remember that? It wasn't easy. He dropped him down. So when I see players in Japan that are really, really grinding the game versus some guys that are making a comeback, it's just see those guys are putting more of the work in. So it's very nostalgic to see it too, and the whole comeback that Daigo got on Nuki at the end, that was awesome. Then his little pop off.
I was about to say, how would you have reacted to that pop off back in the Alpha 3 days?
You never see him pop off, man, and he's all like, because those guys have the same rivalry as me and Choi did. The same one. It's like that many years playing together.
Would you have taken that pop off well if that was back in the Alpha 3 days?
Oh my god, that was. I wouldn't have popped off that awkward, man. I would have.
You didn't like this one? This move right here? That's a good one, man. They should start doing that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I know the internet loves him for it. I mean, we all care for the guy, and he's still kicking ass. So, I mean, anything that shows personality, I'm all for it, man. We all love Daigo.
That was one of the things, the reason why I wanted to bring up streaming, because you had talked to me about the importance of streaming to build your personality outside of just tournaments. Like, where else can we see you? But before we get to that, you have a call, Alex.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. Let's see here. Nick, can you hear us? Nick has terminated the call. He did not want to be heard. But his question, if I can see here, Ian Barker, one of our producers here, was kind enough to type in what the topic would be. Will Street Fighter V be as exciting to watch as Ultra Street Fighter 4? Presumably, let's just throw it at the Capcom Cup.
Wow. Okay. So, it's you look at Street Fighters differently. Like every new Street Fighter, you look at differently. You know, like Super Turbo differently, Alphas differently, the Street Fighter 3 series. They all have their different hype moments. Okay, and if you really enjoyed CVS 2, that was a very footsie technical. It's a super technical game. One of our last technical 2D fighters that we had from Capcom, right? Besides like Third Strike, but it was extremely boring to watch. I mean, top players love to play it, but it sucked to watch. Third Strike, different. People love to watch it, but it was a snooze fest as Chun-Li came on their Street Fighter 4. Huge upgrade, right? But like, I mean, that game put everything together like so well. It's just the animations, the supers, the cool comeback factors, the randomness that kept everything so interesting. Now, I think people are not liking the whole fact that people are dominating. Like, there's just too many domination matches, right? Unless like Armika finally starting to kind of veer out and throw a little random spice in there. I think the whole I dominate you so much, and it's just not making it that appealing for the viewers. And I think it just it's gonna take some time for like the real skill to show up. Because a lot of people don't know the game. You know, all the veteran Street Fighter 4 or before players are kicking everybody's ass right now. You know, Infiltration is doing a number on the world, right? I mean, you have Tokido's been there for many years. You know, Justin's busting out again, and they're just slaughtering everybody. It's not even a contest. And I think like once it gets, the higher levels is that way. But in the intermediate, it just kind of looks like, oh, these guys are just going through the motions. It doesn't look so exciting yet, except until you throw a Marn in there, and then that's exciting, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. We were all so used to watching so many comebacks from Street Fighter 4 that it's like it doesn't. There's nothing. I don't think. You don't see anything you can look forward to towards the end because the guy's almost dead or he's almost done. I can kind of tell the outcome, and that's it. So to answer that guy's question, not right now, but I think give it some time, maybe until after all the DLC characters are out and people know just about all the matchups, and then that's when we're going to see game changers.
Alex, thank you for that answer, and I also want to give a shout out to Adriel, who just subbed, and I'm going to thank you for that, Alex. It's the fact that you're a guest on our show that we got that sub and brought us that enlightening conversation, so shout outs to that guy. If you're watching the show and you like it and you come here every week, give us a follow, and if you're feeling generous, give us a sub.
I would like to mention one thing about the excitedness of the game, which is, and it comes specifically to the Haitani versus Tokido match at final round, where Haitani had the huge lead and Tokido came back. And I think one thing that will be awesome for this game is the visible stun bar, which really just, it lets even the most, unknowledgeable viewer, if someone explains the stun bar to them, see exactly what's going on and how close they are to maybe making that comeback. And I think, for me, that's been a lot of fun to watch in the game so far.
Donkey, like, I appreciate high-level footsie, however lame it is. Like, I'm an exception, you're an exception. We appreciate that high-level tension. But for the casual viewers, they're just looking for some kind of he DPs and massive damage comeback. That's all they care about. And that's what it seems like people want. They want to just wait for somebody to get exposed on the comeback and do a meme about it, and then move. hopefully there's another one like that. So, but for me and you, we're just waiting to see somebody get outplayed.
Yeah.
That's it.
You don't think the average stream viewer, not somebody, I mean, even though Niners by this point are pretty learned, at least from what they're watching, but you don't think the average person can see, oh man, he baited that, or he trained him into doing something and then I was able to exploit that or whatever?
It's a big job of the commentators.
Okay, well, the commentators do, of course, they're doing their work explaining that stuff. But I think the new players are a little bit more knowledgeable now compared to like when Street Fighter 4 was out or any other Street Fighter. I think the knowledge has really been passed to the next generation, and people are knowing how to frame trap and all this stuff. People didn't know how to do like one frame links back then. Now everybody's wondering, are there one frame links in Street Fighter 5? Like immediately, like okay, people want the high execution stuff, and so I think they can understand it, but like, is that what they want to see versus how they want to play the game? That's different. People would rather kind of see blow-ups. That's what I see, man. A lot of people just enjoy.
Hey, but those are fun too, though, right? I mean, I'm sure even you get a little bit of enjoyment when you see a blow-up, Alex.
Oh no, yeah, of course. But like, I'm still a fan of better Street Fighter play.
Sure.
If somebody comes in and like just dominates people, I want to know who he is and what is he doing. Like I want more research, even if it's the dumbest little thing. I'm like, why is that so effective? Versus like, whatever that guy is doing is boring. I don't want to watch that. It's like that's the difference that I see.
So you still, if you had your way, you'd be streaming Street Fighter Cross Tekken?
Street Fighter Cross Tekken? Yes. Oh man, I enjoy that game, but like, unfortunately, a lot of people don't. So. Okay,
let's, Nick brought out all the callers from the woodwork. We have a call here for you. Sam, you're on the air. Can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you guys. Thanks a lot.
Hey, the floor is yours, Sam. Ask Alex your question.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you, the fight money system in Street Fighter 5, like, and the shop and how that's been kind of implemented into this new iteration of Street Fighter? Like, how do you what do you like about it? What do you think works? What do you think should change? I think it's a great thing. I just think many things should change, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, or all your guys' thoughts on it. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam.
Fight money. Wow. Okay. Well, let's just say like it's not done yet, right? It's only a portion of it that's done that you can purchase costumes and colors.
They haven't put the real money system in yet.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah, the
What is
real
that,
money
the Zenny
system
or whatever?
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, in a perfect world, we'll be able to money match on battle lounges. Okay, we'll be able to like pay for credits to do like these pre-made online tournaments in there, so where you can like fly to different regions and like take their money or something, or something that just you can have your own, like the MOBAs and the free-to-play games do this all the time. You can go in there and kind of like forge your weapons and do all this craziness. And why can't we do it? Why can't we like forge our damn costumes and make them like all crazy and customize them and then sell them?
Yeah.
Why can't we do it? Or like put like a Capcom Pro Tour logo event, an SCR, or a final round, a CEO, or whatever. It's just I want to see a lot more. The way that it's implemented right now, I mean, it's they're taking the baby steps, because I mean they're obviously having some issues with like the server stuff still, and they're figuring out what to do with Alex because right now he's free. So until they have the money thing right, I just like to see a really dialed down system to where a new player can come in and be like, okay, I don't want to buy this stuff. Maybe I can customize my stuff, or maybe I can enter online tournaments or something, and have like a kind of a roadmap with this stuff. That's what I would like to see. So
I agree, and it's kind of interesting and disappointing because before the game came out, we heard these sound clips, with the names of
Final
tournaments
round.
in them. It was Final Round and Combo Breaker and all that stuff. And
yeah.
hopefully that means something's in the works, and what Alex is saying is exactly what I think would be amazing to see, but it's certainly lagging along.
This is the first year, right? This is supposed to last, how many years did they say? Like 10 years, 10 plus years? They're going to keep adding to it. Alex, we have another call for you.
Yep.
This call is coming to us from Fuller822. Fuller, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hey, you're on the show, man. Let's hear your question.
Hey, questions for Alex. Hey, Alex, so as a big name TO, I know you, and you're legend in the fighting game community. I was wondering whether you had put thought or value into pursuing more team tournament type events, right? Like pursuing maybe even like a team league. From the perspective that I have as kind of like an esports viewer, I see the global thing, like Korea does a lot with like their StarCraft team leagues and things like that. And I think that has greater potential than maybe individual tournaments here in the U.S. So two-part question is, have you thought about it? Do you value it? And second part is, maybe is there anything in the works?
Okay, good questions, man. So currently the fighting community already hosts like 3v3 tournaments, and they just do it to kill time on a Friday because the main event starts on Saturday. And nothing too official has been going on, except recently over the weekend, which you guys did not talk about, is Tekken Crash. So Street Fighter Crash. Street Fighter Crash, because they originally host Tekken Crash. Anyways, Street Fighter Crash had 3v3 battles, and some of them were sponsored teams. They had the Topanga Boys, they had the Razor Boys, right? The Mad Cats Boys, or whatever. But they, the way that they showcase that is the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Good Game and South by Southwest hosted that round robin,
The Fighters Invitational,
right? And I mean, if that was a team effort, that would have been amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a glimpse of where it can go. And until then, I think we have more teams established, because we only have a handful, of players that are picked up by major teams, right? But versus all the other genres, they have like freaking a whole roster of people on their teams. It's just nuts compared to us. We may have like one Street Fighter player and like two Smash players somewhere, or two Street Fighter players and no Smash players. It's just like we're not there yet, but I would love to see more of those. And if we can pick those players up, the players that the fans want to see, hell yeah, I'll throw some like showcases for team tournaments, and that's something that outside of the whole tournament spectrum, because tournaments are like all year round, but the team aspect and dynamics, I think that would throw for an amazing showcase.
You're hosting 2 events back to back this weekend, the following weekend, or at least streaming rather, right? That would be correct to say. West Coast Warzone and then Texas Showdown. At these tournaments, you always have team tournaments on Friday night, and they usually feel like a bit of an afterthought. I mean, that would be an opportunity to maybe shape that up a little better, or do you think that it needs to be its own event separate from the main tournament?
For now, I think it's just good for the community to have something to do, because it's I've been to a lot of the major events, and they're trying to give the players that arrive early something to do, either register late on time, whatever. But it's cool just to see more characters being used at once, right, in a whole team scenario. But we will, I think, when the big cash prizes and a reason and a storyline for a dynamic team tournament start, or even a league or a system, dude, that would be kick-ass, man. But again, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
One day. We have our last call for you for the night before the set. Are you going to use Alex to just, troll him, Alex versus Alex?
We'll see. I could use Alex. I could use Fang. I could use Ryu for the mirror.
Or are you bringing Rashid? We're gonna find out.
Use your character, boy.
Oh dang! Bring Vega, you young whippersnapper. All right, we got one more call for you here. Let's see, Lil Keg, you're on the air. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
The floor is yours, buddy. Let's hear it.
For a question towards Alex Valle, as a kid who, personally has been playing Street Fighter and been playing competitively since now, as a 14-year-old kid, how do I make it a step further or a step closer towards, the pros and, being all the way up there?
Thank you for your call, Lil Keg. I'm going to go ahead and hang up on you while Alex answers.
One of the best questions we've ever gotten.
Damn.
So he's
that
14.
Is a loaded question. Can you guys repeat that? So just make sure everybody understands what he said.
He's basically 14 and he wants to make it to that next level. What do I got to do?
Oh, yes. Okay. Damn. Oh, wow. Where do I begin? That is a super loaded question. I'll go back to, remember the roadmap thing I mentioned about the whole fight money stuff? We need a roadmap from oh man, if it was perfect world, okay? I'll even go down to high school, to college, then you got your local events, right? And then you got your regional events, and then your the ranking, right? The ranking CPTs, and then the premier events, right? Some roadmap started from the Street Fighter V game. Right when you turn it on, the CFN should say what's happening today or something, right? You want to check out what's happening in your neighborhood, right? Or tournaments this weekend, or top players that are streaming right now. See, those type of things that tells you what you want to watch, because you're a new player. You're trying, I want to play Street Fighter V, but oh wow, this is some cool stuff. Mm-hmm. Versus I'm looking at all these damn features, and I'm like, oh, where do I even begin? Should I go training? Should I go challenge? All right, let me go to YouTube. Oh man, this is taking too much work. I mean, let me just try rank. I'm gonna use. You see, nobody knows what to do. It's just, that is the most annoying part about fighting games. Nobody knows. Nobody you can look for tutorials, but you have to actively look. So if we have that in place for starters, that's a good entry point. Then from there, I mean, besides being good at the game, you need to produce content. You need to put yourself out there, right? If you are doing really well online, put your footage out there, get it out there, talk to event hubs, SRK, whatever, even top players, have them push your stuff out there, right? Get noticed, go to local events, right? I mean, this is the stuff that, people are eventually figuring out what to do, but it takes time, and that's the problem. I know Gutex doesn't like this part, because he would, I mean, that dude, tries to showcase everything, with the utmost efficiency. I would say, making sure your time is used wisely, and then you can move forward on if you want to be a top player or a personality or work in the industry. So, it is quite some work, man. We can talk forever.
Yeah, it's a whole nother show.
That's why I said it's a loaded question. So I'll just leave you with this, okay? If you choose to be a pro player, I mean, you look at what Knuckle Dew has been doing, right? Look at the young. Start with the young, and look at the old, right? Like me, right? Where I'm at, right? I'm mentoring. I'm producing content. I'm doing, majors and events, right? Knuckle Dew, he's done the groundwork in Street Fighter 4, right? And he's been going to these tournaments, right? And to look where he is now, and look at legacy players that are still dominating the scene, Daigo and Justin, right? Just get inspiration from these guys and see if that is what you want to do, or if you don't want to do that, take an industry route, because we need you guys.
Yeah.
We need you guys to produce these things, dude, and to help us make this mainstream. So,
Alex, I am so sorry that I forgot to mention that it was your birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Alex. Can I get some belated birthdays up in here? Before we get into the set, how was your birthday, man? Did you have a good one?
Yeah, man. Birthday was on a Monday, but I did a pre-celebration on the weekend, and
That's never stopped you.
You celebrate the whole week before and the whole week after, Alex. Come on.
I can't, because this weekend I have West Coast Warzone, right? And which do I even have time to talk about the events that I'm hosting next?
After the set, I was going to ask you about West Coast Warzone, Texas Showdown, because we have some things to talk about Texas Showdown as well. So I was going to say that to the very end, so it's the last thing fresh on people's minds.
Sure.
But you were talking about your birthday. You have West Coast Warzone prep ready to go. So it's too much responsibility. You can't cut loose anymore.
No. I mean, I used to indulge a lot when I was in the party time, but I got a business to run. I have communities to service. I have clients that need to make sure that they have the best event for the people watching at home. So these things need to be squared away, and this is the home stretch until West Coast Warzone comes up, and then the week after is Texas Showdown. So if there's any more partying needs to be done, it's after Texas Showdown. So
at Texas Showdown, that's another possibility.
I'm working that event, man. So I want to be standing while I'm at the camera. So
all right, are you ready for a set with our Dot Esports resident fighting game expert, Michael Donkerscheller?
Oh yeah, all right, okay.
Can't believe you call me boy.
Well, I mean, what am I going to call you?
You're going to enter this set a boy, but I suspect you're going to leave a man. Hey, don't forget to turn on the PS4 over there. Shut off on us. There you go. No. Just get in there, Donker. You're in the shop. West Coast Warzone, while we set this up, West Coast Warzone is happening this weekend. It's in SoCal, right? Am I about to get that wrong? Okay, it's in SoCal. It's not SoCal Regionals, obviously, so this is the biggest tournament that's not SoCal Regionals in the area?
Correct. So West Coast Warzone actually was the first SoCal major before SCR. And it's run by John Rogg and Happy Tang, which is Kai, and they're hosting it at the Doubletree in Orange. So it's going to be the first CPT ranking event in the West Coast, I believe. And there's actually, all the killers are in the West Coast, but barely any East Coast presence, man. Where are you guys at? You guys talking all that trash. You guys can't even afford to come down to our hood. We go to your hood all the time.
I mean, that's on the other side of the country, man.
But the East Coast players that are cool and have, greeted us, you guys are all right. It's the guys that are talking shit. But, hey, I'm just saying, where are you guys at, dude? So that's that. And we have, Texas Showdown the week after, which is also has the KI Cup ranking points. It's on top of the CPT points, which is going to be pretty badass. And you guys been to Texas Showdown. Texas Showdown is amazing. The food there, the people. You guys are always hungry to dominate out of region players. And I've been there for many, many years. So that's one of my favorite events to go to.
Texas Showdown is the reason that Molina Integra is known as one of the best Kens in Street Fighter 4, and I think he beat you on stream, and then he was one of the best Kens in the country. So we have you to thank for that. But Texas Showdown is also a lot of fun. It was the first tournament that I went to. Do you remember when it was at a comic convention? Were you there? Or was that a Comic-Con?
Oh yeah, that was the dark days.
That was the dark days, and there's some
days.
some bad stuff to say about that. But regardless, it was the first tournament I went to where I started shooting interviews. That many years ago, this is like 2012 or something, and look at me now. So I have a soft spot for Texas Showdown. But we're about to get into this match.
By the way,
Yeah,
Alex.
I'm coming on right now.
How you name? Okay, you're not using Laura, are you?
I'm definitely not using Laura. I kept the character select on.
Uh-oh, look at that cool graphic. There we have Michael Donka Schiller versus Alex Alejandro Valle.
See,
All right,
here's
guys.
the thing. He has challenged me.
And he called you a boy.
He called me a boy. He has challenged me to use my character.
So you're bringing out Vega straight away? What's the rule set here? It's first to 3 or best of 3?
We've been doing first to 3s so that I have more chances to complain. And we're going to probably keep that trend going. I'm just going to play until I win.
All right, there you go. So
And
we're going
then
to
claim
potentially
I downloaded him.
apparently 50 matches, and then those last 3 when he wins, that'll be the end of it. Alex, are you
All
ready to
right,
go?
I
How are you
will
feeling
pick
about
Vega.
this?
All right, man. Yeah, we're good to go.
My excuse of the week is that I've been mostly playing Alex.
Uh-huh.
And so
okay.
I forgot all of Vega's buttons.
So
Yeah,
if this
and,
doesn't...
and mine is I haven't played this since last week, so at least Saturday, I would say.
All right, well, let's see it. We got 2 classic characters. We have Michael Donka Schiller using Vega, and Ryu, Mr. Street Fighter himself, Cali Power, rocking that OG Ryu. Oh, we did take off game music, and I apologize for that. How are the levels, guys? Let us know in the chat. How are the levels for the game? Oop. OmniSlash says that US gets bodied because they only know how to play in the training stage. I'm not sure there's enough evidence to back that up.
Ooh.
602 Sneakerhead says, I freaking hate Vega boys. He as well called you a boy. Let's pick up this match, guys.
Oh, oops, fuck that up.
Okay. Okay.
I think you read that you were trying to jump out.
I'm getting back my V skill time. This is what it is. I gotta twirl, slide.
Eat crouch medium into fireball. Who does Donka main in Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasm?
Kagura.
Kagura. Now you know that behind this desk, Donka does not wear pants. He wears shorts.
Ooh.
Okay, I got bodied pretty bad right there. This is gonna be.
We're
That was called a download match, boys. You know, the first match is always for downloading.
We're getting some. You're gonna learn today, boy. In the chat.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, come on, bro. This is only the first one. You're good. You're good. It's barely getting started.
Fight.
Grandpa Valle has given Mr. Puffy Hair a spanking. Says T-Mac 6187. FU Isis asks, is Donka gonna cry? I wonder. Donka 56K downloading Snoo Snoo.
Nice. Oh.
Yeah, I had no B meter there, so I don't really think I had any way out of that one.
It's that 56K modem download, right? It's taking a little bit longer. Mogul Khan says this confirms Gutex is free.
Uh-oh.
That's unfair. Here we go. Come on, Mike. Do the dot proud.
Nice.
Dongarian, I'll let you know that we're in Texas. That's not the West Coast or the East Coast. It's the South. Cyanide in the chat, friend of yours, says, wow, Donka, just jump at him for fuck's sake.
Oh my god, you stuck out the finger, didn't you? Oh!
I
You
thought it
did
was
stick out that
coming.
finger! Shit! Oh! I felt that, man. Nope! You're no cookies for you today.
That was like 3 normals into a DP. Okay, I gotta tame the wildness. I'm used to playing against normal players.
Oh,
now
my
I've got to
bad.
play
All right,
against.
let me slow it down a little
Now
bit.
I got to play against Dad, and Dad knows me pretty well, but it's coming.
Oh man! All right, I'll put the belt on.
No. You can keep it out. I deserve it.
He's messing with you on those twirls. Oh goodness.
It's so hard to anti the way this guy jumps.
Oop. Oh my lord! You stick out fingers again? That's fucking. Feels like an episode of Excellent Adventures, man. Oh, okay. All right. You're gonna fuck me up. I'm just talking too much shit. Oh no! You gotta be triggered. You wanna use it? Want some damage? Oh, there we go. Good shit. Nice. Oh my god. Nice. Speed run. Nice conversion.
Oh, I tried.
Good try.
Come on, Mike.
Oh.
I like the twirls. They're very pretty. Come on, Mike.
Oh, how did you block that?
Ah, I thought I was gonna catch the foot.
Is this it? Last round?
No way.
Is
This is the
tournament?
first round
Is
of
this
6 in a row.
Is
This
this
is the first
set
round of
point?
6 in a row. Oh my lord, I haven't.
Yeah, you're a bit rusty, man. I saw you better at
No, this isn't
The final round?
you're way better back then. I saw you were giving it to the kids, man.
He did 5-0 Punko at final round.
Oh man, everybody 5-0 Punko.
Damn! Donka was talking like that was
he
something
passed
special.
around, dude. Like, yeah, he was. Okay, I'll shut up.
Oh man, Alex.
Oh, you're getting fancy. That's punish.
Oh, you didn't know we had those in Austin, Alex?
Yeah, I know you guys have a lot of stuff in Austin, man, but
It appears that the chat is loving your comments about Punko, Alex.
no, because they don't know what happens behind the scenes.
Oh my god, I got an anti-air.
Come on, Mike. Oh boy. Out of there. Got him. Oh!
Oh, nice.
All right.
He said it. The first out of a.
First out of 6 in a row. This is it.
Final round. Fight.
Hey, but Punko still got that team secret sponsorship. Says Diamond Dog 278. So we can talk all we want.
Cool. Dude, I'm a big Punko fan, man. When he does all his highlight stuff on stream, that's cool. But like, you know, somebody said, "Do we 5-0 him?" That's the truth.
Yeah. Anyway, that's on Arturo Sanchez's YouTube channel. If you want to see the tail end of Donka 5-0ing Punko's Cammy, check that out.
Oh, you do the 3-frame there. Okay. You like using 3-frame there.
I think you're being downloaded, Mike.
There, see? Keep doing it.
Oh, that would have been pretty badass if it had worked, Alex. Throw the rose or something. Oh boy.
Oh.
That combos?
Yeah. Nice.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that Donka face.
I love
the
it.
first DP on Wake Up.
Yep.
And it gets baited.
Yep.
The first one. It
Hey
didn't
man.
get
Hey,
baited.
that's
I-
one.
I
That's
think
one
it could've
match.
Well, do we need to see the rest? The download's over.
Oh, okay. So when I do it offensively, it's you know, it doesn't count, right?
It doesn't
Defensively, all right. Okay, I get you. Fine. I mean, yeah, put one in the cookie jar for you, man. You get a gold star, baby.
What kind of cookies are these, by the way?
Oh, these are some solid cookies. man.
Solid cookies?
These some fucking solid.
Okay, the anti-airs are coming now for me. I'm gonna anti-air starting now. There we go. Okay.
Here you go. Neutrals. Neutral, baby.
Oh! That's too good. Oh, that's too good.
Nicely done.
Alex, chat says you're running out of steam. What's going on, man? You're running out of gas.
Maybe.
Maybe it was because it was his birthday yesterday and you probably partied. I don't know. Residual hangover? We'll call it that.
All right. No more comeback shit. Let me build my meter so I can kill you. Oh! Oh, you did that side. Forget. Okay. Uppercut. Yeah.
Dunk, are you wafting yourself?
I'm wafting myself.
Oh.
It's hard having this hot of reads.
Oh boy. He's meeting you in the air, Mike.
Oh no. That was an anti-air. I'm in the body.
Oh my god.
No! Okay. No.
What was that?
That was an errant slide.
Okay.
Final round.
Didn't want to make it look too good on the comeback.
Yeah, people are asking why aren't you parrying the air claw?
I can throw that.
Yeah, he can mix it up.
Gotcha.
I know. Yeah, he can mix it up. Good suggestion. It could work if I
you
know
knew for sure.
Oh!
Yeah, see,
Damn,
yeah,
okay.
it could have been 3 or 4, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and
Sorry for getting so loud in your ears, anybody watching.
nope. Back. Just so skinny. Oh, nice. That was good damage.
That's it right here. Is that the round? Mike, it's not like in Marvel where you have to hit the buttons really hard during the animation.
Oh, you beat my crutch around. Good job, Mike.
But he said 6 in a row, Alex, and that's been 4 consecutively, but not in a row. Or, in short order.
Yeah, good job, man.
Oh my god,
I like the adaptation.
You were a boy. You're a teenager right now, man. You're about to start getting by acne and.
Just wants to get out of here for your own belt.
You're
about to wear this belt instead
I literally
of feel
get so excited to play people like Alex who read me. I get so excited. I can't even talk. I'm like, I could do this for 2 days straight.
Mike has told me many times that his favorite thing about playing people on the show is that he gets to learn the matchups and that he gets to play good people. And so we're glad that we get to learn along with you. Travis Epic says, time to power up. I'm not sure who you're talking to.
Oh my god.
Nomad Terran says this is staged, and I'm pretty sure it's not. Donka, people here think that you should change your name to Bat Mitzvah Donka.
Bat Mitzvah Donka.
thought it was a bar mitzvah and bot was for girls.
Not fast enough currently.
Oh.
Nice. Nice. Oh, going in for it.
Oh, you almost had that grab, man. Is that dash in and parry grab?
Yeah, I
Dang.
tried to dash in and do it a third time.
Yeah. Does he still have his car grab in 5?
No, there's no forward moving car grabs in this whole game.
Okay.
They like very specifically made sure that would not happen.
Uh-oh, okay, jumping.
N1 Special says Cali power up. Oh. Olvaha says Alex Valle. Cali power up.
Oh, it's the first time he's teched in so long. Oh.
Come on, man. Oh. That was the get me out of here, Rose.
Damn, that looked like a hit. On
Yeah.
my side, what the hell?
There's something with Vega. I think that's the second time that happens this set.
Oh
boy. Just Chat TV says, why are you guys playing in the training stage? It makes watching a bit more boring.
Nice.
Okay, is this it? Is this tournament round?
This is for all the
set
big
round.
matches right
Set round, right here. Yeah, we're sorry about that. I forgot to turn the
Oh,
music
he
back
starts
on.
with the jump for the first time.
Oh no.
No. This is easy now.
You wanted the meter?
Oh, what's in that side?
Oh! That was for the crowd.
No. Oh no!
Oh yeah, you messed up. Oh, you messed up. You messed up there, man. That would have been hype.
The belt stays with Alex.
Oh man.
Good games, I guess. No, good
No, I really like the adaptation. You started to stick out standing light with just 3 frames. It beats my standing medium punch pressure, and then you started to air, and then you hang back a little bit more instead of kind of like, what is he doing? You know, so like just you played it right. You started to change it up to your pace again. So.
Now, I think you have to play one match versus my Alex.
Rashid versus Alex for all the marbles?
I can do that.
It might, I mean, one match.
Because I still need to get one last
match
random
versus
question
my
with
Alex.
Alex.
You can pick whoever you want. It doesn't matter. Because this is the real final boss if you can beat yourself.
If I can, man. Oh, wow.
Alex, how have you been enjoying all these memes that have been coming out, photoshopping your face?
Oh, man, I love it.
There's been some gems.
Everybody having fun with the memes. Keep them going. You know, we love to show them at Wednesday Night Fights or any other event out there. And it just shows the creativity and the fun the community wants to bring to the table. And, you know, we love to interact with them. So keep it fun.
FU Isis in the chat says, just accept it, Dunka. You will always be a boy.
Damn, what is up with your outfit? Damn, I didn't even know that's.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No,
you don't have the season pass, Alex.
Hey,
You don't know
are
about
you
that,
reverting me back to 1.1 as well?
No, you're not, right?
No.
Okay. Oh my God, what is this?
You don't like that, man? He's he just got done playing some beach volleyball. Donnie Brasco 1 says, tell Valle Kitty Kaboom is looking for him. And there's been a couple of questions about Kitty Kaboom. She's that cosplayer that's been at your events, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's works at KO Gaming Lounge. They run events over there too, and she's old school actually cosplayer, and really good friends with Christian, the guy who plays Ken on Street Fighter Assassin.
Oh, right. I think I remember
Yeah,
you
yeah.
having
So-
actually brought them up during one of the Wednesday night fights.
Yeah, yeah. So she's awesome. Like after work, she tries to make it to Wednesday night fights when she can, and has fun with the community and stuff. So she's been part of the community for a long time. Just now that there's streams around and friends that actually don't make it look awkward and it already is. That's why a lot of people just go to Wednesday night fights. They don't feel like there's like, oh, what is this? Oh, you're part of this. She actually has fun there.
Jeez, I do not know what I'm doing versus this at all. Okay.
No, dude, it's just the character's standing jab is like his go-to, right? Or if you're on top of me. If you're on top of me, I guess wrong twice, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. The boots, man.
The no boots boots. You're getting that the callus, the bunions. Oh man, how many Rashids are there in Austin besides Ray?
There's very few Rashids right now in Austin, but that's not the point.
How are you liking Rashid, Alex?
Dude, it's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, I think he baited that reversal.
Nice.
Kate on Twitch says Alex looks like.
Oh, you blocked that? Oh, what?
Oh, here we go. It's gonna be ugly. Come on, man. See what you got.
Oh,
come on.
Oh, that was you, dude. That was so you.
Yeah, that was gonna hurt.
Oh, nice. I like that. That was so you, dude, man. I was like, oh, fuck, he's gonna get me. Yo, so the setup that I did.
I need one more, but yeah, keep going.
Oh my
I need
EX
one more.
Tornado? That was. I guess I didn't cross up right, but I can cross up with that EX Tornado before you wake up. That's like that new tech.
Alex, you got one more in you?
I need
Donk
one
is
more.
asking
There's no
for
way
it.
I can end on
Let's
that.
play. Let's play, man. I'm
Let's
having
go.
fun, dude. This is why we play this game. I know you guys got a show to run, but me and Donkey, we can keep playing, dude.
I'll stay here all night. I have
Yeah, you know what I'm
employees
saying?
that are helping that do have significant others to get home to, but I'm happy to stay here for a little while longer.
Oh my god. Oh.
If you ask, Isa says Valle is still your dad, Donka. Oh my god. He's your papi. And your tío. Yo, Goobermint is on point with these face meme little Twitch emotes.
Oh my god.
Cleavage says Street Fighter V is my significant other. Whoa, you actually turned this around? I looked away for a second, Mike.
Oh, I deserve that. That was good. That was hot.
That's one round. That's one round, Mike.
I like this
That was
character
hot
because
right
I
there,
feel like
dude.
he
That
lets
was-
me make my reads.
Alex does?
Yeah.
You just want to play read-based the entire time? Have you fought against many Alexes, Alex?
Online here and there, but not really. A lot of people are too scared to play this character.
Letha 1, or maybe Lethal is what you know by that. How do you get that outfit? It is his summer outfit. If you get the season pass, it comes with every character that'll be released, plus their specialty costume, which is not the same as their story costume. So basically, you can just get it there. I got it via the season pass. I did not get it by trying to pay for it with fight money. Fascist Monster says Street Fighter V is my girlfriend because she can't see her judge. She sees you.
Can't do nothing about that.
Yeah.
That's just.
Are you gonna do the juice box able and do the actual dance there?
Oh.
Over there? I've seen you do it. There it is. There it is.
Oh, you got a full stick of butter, man. I don't know, man. Oh, this is the pain. Oh my god, my toes. Shit. Nicely
We're gonna take
done.
this to a third match, aren't we? God damn it! This is your plan.
Oh, get out of here, son!
There it is. You got it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You better kill me, dude. Yes. Thank you. You can sign off on this right here. You can.
Do you want the run back, or are we gonna leave it on that P right
Just
there?
We got it.
on this right here?
I gotta show him Who's
dude,
daddy?
you gotta sign off on this.
I
Right?
gotta get no.
Donka wants to show you that he is not a boy.
I know he's scared of that. This is coming back.
You're gonna miss
Me?
the play again button. Hit it. Yeah, let's get it. This guy wants another one.
Yeah,
This is
You know,
it, Mike.
this is that one game. That one more game. See, that one more game extends to production. That's so funny.
I'm gonna have to give Will in the control room like a half a day off or something.
Oop. Oh, the extensions. Oh, nice. Oh, going down. Oh, that sucks.
Okay. Got a little parry
Try
happy.
to parry the whole thing, dude. This guy wants to parry it all. Alright, let's see if I can give him another opportunity to do so. Oh, look at that noise.
Oh man, his buttons are long, man. Oh boy.
One interesting. Alex
Oh,
actually has some of the
what?
better footsie
No,
buttons
my
in there.
PC.
Oh.
No! Are you serious? What
Hold
happened?
on. I'm backing up. I'm backing up. Okay, I got it. Cool.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, I'm cool. Damn, I forgot the thing is on. Somebody sent me a message like, oh shit, whoops. It's cool. No harm, no foul.
Oh boy.
Oh, that hurts. No.
Alex
It's
isn't gonna
not-
let you. Dude, it's not a whole lot of room to maneuver there with a tornado in your face.
Oh, come here. Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, nice, nice. I didn't even fucking push a button. I just wanted to give you the freaking tornado spin of death.
Is this the best of three sets?
Oh. All warmed up.
Rudo dos más. Maybe I should get a PS4 for that butter smooth 20 frames per second drops. It looks sharp as hell on the PS4 in the room. It's just a stream that lags a little bit. And if I'm not mistaken, Alex is playing on PC, so I don't think there's any lag in between those. I haven't noticed any myself.
Word? Dude, that hurt so much. Those two hits.
Oh my god, he's so hard to anti-air.
Nice. Oh, you got my back dash. Oh, it's that. Ooh, you got me. You got my receipt. You got me. You got the back dash. I like it, man. There you go, man. Now you can rest at ease.
Wait. But we need you to say it, Alex. Is Donka a boy?
Oh, yeah. He's still a boy.
Dang!
He's still a boy. Still a boy.
A slightly older boy.
At least I'm like I'm like upping
you
in
know,
the sun. He has his favorite sons, and I'm like getting there.
You know, cherish being a boy.
Oh, this is becoming life.
Once you start hitting a man, you're automatically like grandpa stage. So, yeah, man. As soon as I hit like 25, I was grandpa. I was like 40. Like people are like,
dude.
"Oh, you're like 40." I'm like, "Dude, I'm 25." And now people think I'm like 60 or whatever. So I'm like, "Okay, cool. You know what, guys? It's all good. I can still beat your ass in Street Fighter." It's cool.
Yeah. Hey, face him in real life. Texas Showdown. We'll do something, man.
Yes, definitely. We all got to hang out, of course, man.
Alex, let me ask you before we let you go.
Yeah.
Remind us, West Coast Warzone's coming up this weekend, and then the following weekend is Texas Showdown. But let's focus on West Coast Warzone because next week we're going to be talking about a lot about Texas Showdown here on the show.
Yeah, so West Coast Warzone coming up this weekend starts this Friday, April 15th, tax day, and ends on Sunday, April 17th. It is the first CPT ranking event in the U.S. It's going to feature, of course, the best of the West. Here, actually, there's some notable players. I got some notable players for you guys. Justin
Let's
Wong.
hear it. That's great. Oh, awesome.
PR Barra, K-Brad, Snake Eyes, Ricky Ortiz, Filipino Champ, Mark Teddy, Brandis Cool, Filipino Man, Chris G, Julio, LPN, myself, Chris T, Alex Myers, SD Pinoy, Paul B, Reynolds, Andy OCR, GC Yoshi, Nando Tovar, Romance, XSK Samurai. Oh, I don't know. Kane Blue River plays Street Fighter 5. Cool. Nerd Josh, Commander Jesse, CJ Showstopper, Ian Sanity, Sherry will be in the house, Viscant, Blockbuster John, Jace, the Ace. Actually, that's his first Street Fighter 5 appearance. I haven't seen him play in tournament yet. So BJ Unchained, SC Tempest, and Nasir. So that's some notable players that are going to be here. Of course, the online registration is still going on. So if you guys want to check out more information, check out westcoastwarzone.com. It will be streamed on our stream, Level Up Live. So you'll catch all the action there. And they're also going to have a side stream with all the other games there too, with MKX, Guilty Gear. There's Ultra Street Fighter 4. I believe that. Man, got the schedules for everything. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as well. Yeah, they're just having they're keeping it short and sweet, and they have the continuation tournament. If you go 0-2, they have an extra tournament for you guys to enter for fun and just to keep it entertaining for everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then they have the free pizza for competitors. They're actually giving.
Dang! Okay, better get ready for those
pizza
registrants.
Yeah, that. And then they're gonna have these cat ear headsets. I don't know how they're going to implement those, so you guys are going to have to watch out for that. There's going to be some more surprises, but we're going to have fun. This is going to be a fun SoCal event with a lot of heavy hitters, and we're just going to keep it that way. So, shout outs to John Rogg and Kai for making this event happen, and hope you guys tune in.
I mean, I find it interesting. I'm just going to take a quick side here, Alex. There was that first guy back in sporting history that came up with the foam finger hand. There was that first guy that had the idea that if they hit a home run, everybody gets, a beer or something to that effect. And those things caught on. They seem commonplace now, but they didn't always exist. Do you think that has to happen? I mean, you see guys like at CEO, they have the ring and the wrestling stuff. Here you're talking about all these cool things that'll be happening. How important do you think that would be to the future of bringing people to tournaments?
We have tournaments, but we want to keep them exciting and interesting, right? So let's just say, for instance, NCR, they had a rock, paper, scissor tournament. That thing was extremely hype, man. What? What's going on? Why are people yelling? Tournament's done, right? Or the exhibition is done, and they're playing that. We're looking around, we're like, dude, that was hype, right? But they did that, right? It's family. All of these events, realistically, is like a family reunion, okay? It's us, right? And plus new players. And then once the new players see that we're normal, we just do things together as if they were in a big group. Now they understand. They're like, oh, that's why you have a paper rock scissors tournament, and that's why you guys do these continuation events, and you guys throw pizza parties, after hour rooms, and but whatever spectacle people can add to their event, more flavor. All power to them. CEO does an amazing job with their ring. Combo Breaker has the after hour room, and they have everything super tight knit as far as scheduling is involved. So, final round and Big E events. That's the biggest East Coast family reunion you got. That's all love, and East Coast guys are great hosts, taking you out to eat and just being naturally hype. And the West Coast, we got all the superstars, man.
Yeah, it looks like everybody and their mother's going to be there at West Coast Warzone. That's going to be a stacked tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be super stacked. So please, guys, tune in. It's going to be a great time.
Alex, thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope we were able to talk about. You always got so many things going on, Alex. It's hard to fit it all in one show, but we love having you come on and keep us up to date.
I'll keep you up to date when the next juicy thing comes along, and hopefully it should be shortly this time. So
I can't wait for those online tournaments that you've been telling us that you can't tell us about for a very long time. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the show. We're still doing Scrub number 1 and Scrub number 2. I'm your host, Efren, or Efren for you native English speakers. And this is Michael Donka Schiller, our host with the most. He's been taking names, man. We're going to start putting... I told you have to etch them in the wood right there.
And so far, there's still only one.
Oh, that's right. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Alex. And thank you guys for watching the Best of 3.